YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington football team video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with some news. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington football team. Also, on this guys, do me a favor. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Juan Gotti Talking Sports. The links are down below in the description. I'm trying to go both of those platforms. Thank you for your follow in advance. Now let's get straight into today's video. So, top of the morning, ladies and gentlemen, and we have some breaking news. So the Washington football team decided to cut wide receiver Steven Sims, and you can see the writing on the wall. In the game versus Cincinnati Bengals, he really didn't do anything. And when it comes to special teams, he didn't run it out. I believe he ran it out one time and he got up to the 20-yard line. So he really didn't do nothing from that aspect. And then from a receiver standpoint, he had a pass where he should have caught, but he dropped it. He was thinking too much about the hit, which, I mean, it's understandable. But when you're fighting for a roster spot, if a guy like Terry, for an example, and of course Terry would have made that catch. Like, come on now, Terry would have made that catch. But if Terry would have dropped it, and because he was embracing for a hit, especially in preseason, we will understand it. We will give Terry some slack because it's Terry. Terry doesn't rarely make mistakes, and when he does, he fixes them. But with Steven Sims, he's been making mistakes since last year, so we want to see him get better. And we saw that he's claiming that he was on the jugs machine and he caught 200 balls a day, and we wanted to see that improvement, and we really didn't see it. He was making some noise in training camp, but when we actually got to some game time or actual games versus other opponents, he really didn't do that much. I mean, he had a couple catches versus the New England Patriots, but it wasn't enough to solidify him a spot, just because, one, he wasn't producing enough, like I said, and this wide receiver room is too talented now. It's not like last year where we didn't have nobody other than Terry McLaurin. The only person we had to throw the ball to last year was Terry McLaurin. So we were leaning heavy on Steven Sims to be that number 2 option. It's not like that no more. You know what I'm saying? We have Curtis Samuel. We have 7th round pick in Dax Milne. We have De'Ami Brown, who we think could be a Terry McLaurin 2.0. We have Adam Humphries. We have Logan Thomas, John Bates, and I'm talking tight ends. I was just about to specifically talk about wide receivers, but we have tight ends too. We have AGG. I can go on for days. Cam Sims. We have so many wide receivers that we're going to still cut some players that we don't want to. But for Steven Sims' aspect, he wasn't going to make this roster. He just wasn't performing well to make this roster. Sorry about that. But now moving on to some more stuff about, Steven Sims. It's no hate to Steven Sims at all, because he is a NFL quality receiver. He has the talent to play in the NFL. But what I think the issue with Steven Sims was last year, he was thrusted into a role that he wasn't ready for. You know what I'm saying? Last year, he knew coming off his good 2019 season that we were going to expect more out of him, and he wasn't ready for that role. And it could be due to, young age and not less experience, or he wasn't ready or built for that role. Not everybody is built to be a number 2 receiver in the NFL. So maybe that just got to him, and then he was overthinking stuff, and then once you overthink stuff, you start to perform bad, and then once you start performing bad, your confidence gets down, and once your confidence gets down, it's no coming back from that. Anything that's bigger than football and life is confidence, and that's even with football. You know what I'm saying? In football, you gotta have the confidence that I could beat this dude on the road. I can catch every ball that the quarterback throws to me. I don't care if he's draped all over me or not. You gotta have that confidence. And Terry McLaurin, for an example, he has confidence. Steve Smith Sr., a guy that had so much confidence, all but 5'9", but he had the confidence. Marcus Peters is another guy who is vocal, and he shows that he has confidence. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that, you have to have confidence in the NFL and just in life in general. And once Steven Sims started to perform poorly, his confidence went down, because, he isn't a robot. He's human. He saw what we were talking about on social media about him being trash and he can't field a punt. He saw that stuff. So once he saw that kind of stuff, he just went down a rabbit hole again. He just was, losing his confidence and his self-esteem. And it sucks for a guy like Steven Sims, because 2019 I know maybe, let me say it, maybe some of you guys don't know about Steven Sims' 2019 campaign, and I don't blame you because we were terrible, 3-13, so maybe you checked out before. The people that watched that whole season, like me and like majority of you out there, you saw how Steven Sims was performing in that season from a wide receiver standpoint and from a kick return standpoint. You know, he took one to the house versus the Detroit Lions. He had a couple great grabs in the games versus the Giants and the Lions, and he just was performing solid, and we expected a big 2020 season out of him, man. He just didn't give that to us. Now you look at the cut by Steven Sims. Who does this open the door for? Me personally, I think this may open the door for DeAndre Carter or for Dax Milne, or maybe they could be cutting Steven Sims, trimming off fat at one area to add someone at another area. Let me give you an example. So let's say, and I thought Jared Patterson, and I still do, Jared Patterson is a lock to make this roster. But let's just say they don't want to cut Peyton Barber, right? And this is just an example. This is not, I don't think this is what's happening, but it could be. Let's say they don't want to cut Peyton Barber. So they want to keep Peyton Barber and Jared Patterson, but they don't have no room to add Jared Patterson right now. So they're going to cut something off at another position to add another guy at another position. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, like I said, they probably could have cut Steven Sims to add Jared Patterson. You know, that's just my assumption. Because if you guys don't know, Washington has to cut 5 more, and I believe 4 now with Steven Sims being gone, 4 more players by 5 p.m. Tuesday evening. So that's tomorrow. So they got some work to do. This isn't going to be the last of cuts. Probably the last big name per se, because I mean Steven Sims isn't a big name in the NFL, but to us he's a big name. So that's probably going to be the last big name you see get cut. But as far as everybody else, it's not going to be the last of these. You know, this is just what this roster has came to because it's so talented. This isn't the 2019 roster anymore where you're depending heavily on, and no offense to Kelvin Harmon because I really thought that he had a big upside, and I still do. But this is not 2019 where you're depending on Kelvin Harmon, when you're depending on Steven Sims, and when you're depending on Cam Sims, and if you look at the tight end position, you're depending on Jeremy Sprinkle and Hale Hedges and stuff. This is not what this roster is anymore. This roster is talented all around the board, and it just sucks that Steven Sims couldn't capitalize on his opportunity in 2020 because he was set up for a prime position if he was able to, you know, make some noise in 2020, and he wasn't able to do that. Now, I do think Steven Sims is going to get picked up eventually. He isn't going to be out there for long because the guy, like I said, has the talent to be an NFL receiver. He just got to get out of his own head. So, yeah, man, it's me and boy Juangottiwft. Top of the morning, wanted to come on here to talk about that. Let me know what you guys think about the cut by Steve Sims. I already know a lot of you guys are celebrating because you wanted to see him gone, but let me know what you guys honestly think about the cut by Steven Sims, or Washington cutting Steven Sims. So yeah, man, it's me and boy Juangottiwft. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much for your daily Washington football team content. It's me and boy Juangottiwft. I'm out. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you popped. Get you popped.